What time do you call this? Listen, dude. I didn't. Last night I decided to go. I went on a journey into the mind of Molly memes, and it was a mistake, dude. Where is MMA Cheer Puppy? Oh, he's probably sleeping because it's late as fuck. Hmm. When I'm just talking to people, do I write this as talk shows? Or should I put IRL or the S8 review? Oh yeah, I watched this earlier. I feel better. I feel good about my decision. I have a new phone in 2 days. Oh, what the fuck?
Do you have cheese fries? Yeah, okay, cool.
What the fuck? All right, I have a guy that wants to talk with me that works for a mainstream media company that I don't want to say because he wants to remain somewhat anonymous. I'm not entirely sure what we're going to be talking about. Um, oh, MMA Cheer Puppy. I can't really talk. Oh.
Just to think that after these 30 weeks we could have conceived a child's preterm and gave it a lifetime of mediocrity. Thanks for the memes.
Well. All right,
Hello?
Maynard, what's up?
Uh, Stream live or no?
Yep, we're live. Don't say anything mean, or I mean, personally identifying or anything you don't want revealed to everybody.
All right. Well, I suppose to start off and sort of just introduce myself and my credentials. So, as you tweeted out, and as you may have said on stream, I am a mainstream media journalist. It's fair to describe me as early career.
Okay.
I am a GA reporter, which is a general assignment for those not in the know. That said, I do have a focus on agencies that enforce immigration, let's say. So that would be ICE, CBP, the U.S. Border Patrol, etc. I also write about security issues related to cybersecurity primarily.
Okay.
All right. So really what I want to talk to you about, I guess media responsibility is a good way to put it. And jumping off that, I would just want to ask you, do you consider yourself to be part of the media?
Yeah, of course. I think so. I think everybody that has an audience is to some extent. Obviously, I don't consider myself to be on the level of, like CNN or Fox News or, any massive channel. But everybody with an audience to some extent, is responsible for digesting and then disseminating information. So.
Sure. Now, given that, how much thought do you really give to the associated responsibilities of, being in the media?
A lot.
A lot? You want to take me through some of those?
Well, I mean, like what part? I mean, there's a lot of different things that can kind of go. Do you want me to just like talk a little bit or?
Yeah, just talk a little bit. That's fine.
I think that to some extent, I think that there's a very hard line that you have to walk when you're a content creator or when you have an audience, because to some extent, whether it's right or wrong or should or shouldn't exist, there are people that will parrot what you say and will take on the beliefs that you have. That is an undeniable fact of life, and to ignore that makes you either incredibly naive or willfully stupid. I don't know, whichever you want to be. So knowing that, you must acknowledge that the way that you conduct yourself will be imitated and emulated by people that watch you. So I think that everything you do needs to be guided by that. So to make a real life example, any value that I espouse on stream would be a value that I would hope that most people would share, and I wouldn't pretend to do something stupid or cherish or value something that is highly detrimental. So like I wouldn't say that like I think it's really funny to go out and shoot guns in the street all the time, and no one's ever gotten hurt, but it's like really funny to do it. Like I always point my gun in the air so that nobody gets shot, and it's really fun. Like I wouldn't say that because I would believe that I've got some degree of responsibility as a content creator to understand that people will do what I say, for better or for worse. So, I mean, that's one aspect of it. Another aspect of it is the dissemination of information, right? I consume information, and then after I consume that information, we'll say related to current events or politics, I need to develop an opinion on it, right? What I say to people is the same as any pundit on Fox News or any person on YouTube. When I tell somebody my opinion on a story, I'm giving them a digested version that they are going to regurgitate without reading the original story. I know that's going to happen. That's just a fact of life. So I have a responsibility to my audience, assuming that I value truth. I have a responsibility to my audience to give them the truest version of whatever story I read with as little bias or as little bullshit as possible, because I value being, factually correct, or value being somebody that is, trying to ultimately seek and disseminate truth rather than just biased media narratives or whatever, or biased political narratives.
Well, I'm very glad to hear all that. And I do have to say, just I've seen some of your previous arguments in part. I mean, I don't have really the time to sit through like the 2-hour spiel of you arguing with someone who's intellectually dishonest. It's just not, worth it for me. Though I do enjoy them. I want to make that clear. And you do, to me, at least reflect to a degree. And I say a degree because there are all sorts of limits on new mediums, and new mediums are different from legacy media and even new media, quote unquote, in the terms that it's used in the industry. Mm-hmm. But moving on from that, I kind of just want to jump back to the intellectually dishonest bit. So why do you argue with these people?
I have like a big meme that I kind of discovered a few years ago. I think the way that I said it was like perception is reality. I guess as human beings, this is a little philosophical, but as human beings, we interpret the environment around us with our 5 senses, or 8 or 13, or however many they're actually, right? But we interpret the environment around us, we process that information in our brain, and then however we see the world, that is how the world is, full stop. Truth and our perception of the truth could be two entirely different things, but at the end of the day, the perceptions are the only thing that matter. If I walk into a room, a completely innocent man, but every single person in that room thinks that I'm a child rapist, then for all intents and purposes, I am a child rapist. I'm going to experience life as a child rapist. I will be treated as such. Maybe violence will be used against me, or I'll be locked up in jail or executed or whatever, right? So the perception is really important. I'm sorry, perception is the most important thing. It is more important than fact or truth. So my goal when I see people having conversations, when I'm having conversations, is to try to move perception as close to truth as possible. There are many people, especially online and in new media, that have become these massive pillars of political discussion and discourse on the internet. People like Sargon of Akkad, people like Stefan Molyneux, whatever his name is, right? These people that, as you say, engage in intellectual dishonesty. If millions of people listen to these people and they think that everything they say is true, then for all intents and purposes, to these people, that is truth. So I think that I would like to dispel as much of that as possible, however much I can, being the size of a figure I am. Obviously, I'm not, the biggest guy on YouTube or even in streaming these days. So, yeah, but I feel like if enough people believe in this kind of stuff, I think you have to address it. You can't just ignore it and expect that at the end of the day, people will come around, because obviously, if you look at where we're at today in the United States, it's not necessarily going to happen. So I think you have to address arguments, even if they seem like they're made in bad faith, even if they seem like they're coming from people that don't care about the truth. You have to address, you have to present your side in order to give people a chance to hear it out,
Well, I'm glad to hear that we're both Don Quixote and that we're both fighting the good fight.
Yeah.
Past that, do you really think your audience is, smart enough? I'm trying to think of how to phrase this. Smart enough to either know the difference between what's bullshit and what isn't, or smart enough to recognize when they're being fed a line?
Are you
And I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot with, having to trash your audience or not.
Oh no, I'll trash them. I'll trash them if they say stupid shit. I'm very honest with my audience. So, are you familiar with have you ever been in any type of therapy for like a mental problem or emotional problem or some kind of psychiatric disorder or anything like that? Or are you familiar with the process of that?
I was depressed in high school, but I never sought professional help.
Okay,
I'm familiar with the process.
Okay. Okay, so this is my familiarity with it is only what I learned in psych, right? The way that it was described to me is when you see a therapist, the therapist doesn't try to make you undepressed or cure you of your, mental ailment or whatever. That's not their goal. What the therapist does is the therapist tries to give you tools so that when you are experiencing these negative thoughts, you have a tool set that you can reach into to counteract that. So let's say that you have a problem with your self-worth. Let's say that you have very, very, very low self-esteem, and this manifests in a whole bunch of negative ways in your life, right? Maybe the therapist you don't go to the therapist for him to tell you like, oh no, you're worth a lot, you're really good, right? You go to the therapist so that he can give you tools so that anytime you start to experience these thoughts, he will give you a different way of dealing with these thoughts so that they don't they aren't detrimental to your life, right? So when I talk to my audience, I guess maybe I don't do this well enough, but I try to. I don't try to tell my audience, like, this is what you need to think about this thing. You need to think that immigration is good. You need to think that immigration is bad. I know that some people might walk away with that opinion, but what I try to do is I try to give my audience my thought process or my tools or my understanding of something so that they understand that the issues are nuanced, so that they come away. So like if anybody's ever heard me talk about globalism or immigration, I want them to come away from that conversation not thinking that, oh yeah, immigration is really good, globalization is really good, but rather thinking that, okay, there are pros and cons to every single issue. Destiny thinks that the pros outweigh the cons here, but even if I go away knowing that, I can still be cognizant of the cons here, because there are too many people that believe in a certain thing. We'll say Hillary Clinton, for example, espoused the greatness of globalism all the time, but refused to acknowledge any of the downsides to it, which led to the Democrats losing, a lot of white people voting for them, a lot of working class white people that ended up, not voting for them because of the loss of jobs, that impacted certain sections of the United States, Yeah. So
I have to countermand you a little bit there. There's a lot of stuff that went on during the campaigns that, I mean, certainly that had an effect to a degree, but there's a lot of stuff with how the media campaigns ran, and by that I mean how advertising campaigns ran.
Sure, there might be. I'm not trying to pin this on any single thing, but when Bernie got up, so we're sidestepping a little bit, but like in my opinion, one of the big things about this election, and in almost across the Western world, but especially in the United States, anti-establishment sentiments were a massive thing, and recognizing that some people have been left behind by globalist policies. I believe this is a big part of Brexit as well. There have been losers. I think that both Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders acknowledged that there were losers. Bernie did it with his 1% rhetoric. Bernie did it when he talked about trade deals destroying jobs in America. Bernie recognized that those people had lost. Trump, in whatever insane fucking rhetoric Trump has, he acknowledged that some people felt left behind as well. Hillary, in her attempt to counteract Trump's campaign, Trump said, "Make America great again." Hillary's slogan was like, "America is already great," or "Let's keep America great." It was this relentless optimism that, while largely was based in reality, failed to acknowledge that some people were left behind. Now, again, I'm not saying that's the sole reason why Hillary lost. I understand that this was a very close election, and there were 1,000,001 reasons why one side might have won or lost, but I do think that was a part of it to some extent, I think.
Oh, no. And I would definitely agree with that. That 100% was a part. Your messaging is basically almost everything in politics and in campaigns especially.
Yeah.
But again, I just want to stress, just for the chat, there were a lot of things that happened in the campaign that all had various levels of effects. But as you said, we are getting a little bit sidetracked.
Sure.
Back when the campaign was going on, I actually worked in TV, so I did that almost exclusively for a few months.
I'm so sorry. I wanted to kill myself just watching it on stream. Jesus.
Do you want to know how many Trump and Hillary rallies I've seen?
I don't know. Did you have to go to any of them?
No, I was working from New York, but holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
Untenable.
Yeah.
Like, I could probably quote them to you right now. I'm not going to, but
sure.
Oh god. All right, but so I mean, you addressed a lot of the possible questions that I had early on, which is good because we can move into this sort of more, I don't know how to phrase this. Let's say confrontational. I don't want to be confrontational, but that's just kind of how it's going to turn out.
As long as you don't scream at me. Yeah.
Professional. I don't scream at people. It's fine.
Okay.
But yeah, so argument that you put out, I don't even want to say argument, but the point you put out earlier about arguing with these people that do have large audiences is very valid. Yes, you do have to contramand them. Again, I'm glad we're both Don Quixote. Different when you're arguing with these randoms that see your debates, let's say with, what was it, Sargon or whoever else, and they come onto your stream and then you talk to them. I do want to note you are, or at least you, I feel like attempt is a little bit too, it's not generous enough for the situation, but you attempt to be respectful, but to some degree these people are private citizens that are putting themselves into the spotlight and essentially exposing them to a level of shaming. And I mean, without drawing winners and losers, I'm going to say that generally because you do this more often, you come out on top. So effects that can have on these people in terms of the mob.
Are you talking about like people?
You want to take me through this?
Are you talking about? Do you want me to talk about like people hunting these people down? Not like literally, but like trying to dox people or harass people or.
Doxing, I feel like, is a little bit too. I mean, doxing is certainly a concern, but I feel like that's one of the rare occurrences. I might be wrong there, but yeah, that sort of stuff in general.
So I am relentless in the way that I approach issues like this, and I feel like my message has been consistent across the 6 or 7 years I've been streaming. I have never in my life been in favor of hurting anybody's job or hurting anybody's reputation or hurting anybody in any way because of some kind of political opinion that they have. Even when JonTron was dropped as a voice actor from that whatever game, which wasn't even really a big deal, I was very much against that. I didn't want to see him lose any fan. I'm big on separating the art from the artist. I'm very, very consistent with all of that, and I try to be a lot of times because of this. To my knowledge, and you can correct me if I'm wrong if you know something that I don't, to my knowledge, I don't think my fans have ever like gone out of the way to try to like mess with somebody that I've had a debate with. The the only thing I can think of that will happen is maybe on that particular day, people will kind of, shit talk them on Twitter. But I'm pretty sure that after like a day or maybe two, if it was a really big talk, that dies down completely. I've never heard of somebody like going out of their way, like, oh, you debated Destiny? Well, I'm going to fuck you up now, kid. Like anything like that.
Okay, and no, I haven't heard of any specific instances. This is almost purely hypothetical.
Mm-hmm.
But
On speaking to that, though, you bring up a very valid point, because I do believe that there are people that engage in that type of behavior, and I think that there are people that don't do enough to stop it. Let me give you a quick example. I am very much against violence, period, politically, ever. I do not think it should be used in the United States of America. And I will extend that.
All right, we're going to talk about that later.
Sure, but
go on.
I'll extend that to everybody, including Richard Spencer, right? I don't think that somebody like that should be assaulted in the street ever, right? And I'm very clear on that. There is no... You cannot listen to me talk about this and come away thinking that I'm ever okay with that, right? And a lot of people on the right, the alt-right, the new right, whatever the fuck you want to call it, the liberal people that say, or the people that say they're liberal but are really right, like a lot of these people, join me in saying that, like, oh yeah, Destiny, you're absolutely right, like yeah, right? Which is good. That's the message we should be sending. However, just recently there was an Antifa rally, and a bunch of people. There was that video of that one dude punching that one girl. Do you remember this? Mm-hmm. Yeah. A lot of, dipshits like Sargon are tweeting things like, well, this is what happens when you come to a fight and you start fighting. Like, oh, well, that's what happens. Well, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay, like you're giving a very, very different message now than you were before. So if you give these types of messages out, right, it wouldn't surprise me. And I don't want to say it's your fault, but if your fans were ever at some type of political rally and they decided to go out and fight somebody or punch somebody because they deemed them to be violent, to some extent, that's kind of on you. Like, I don't want to say it's entirely your fault, but I mean, like, look at how you're acting. Like, so do you understand? Like, that's kind of my example. So I do agree with you that, like, you do have some responsibility. I try my hardest to make sure that I'm constantly telling people that it is unacceptable to witch hunt somebody, to ruin their career, to threaten their job, to harass them. I do not ever, I don't even, like say like, oh, you guys should go find his job, but not really, but really do it. Like I never even say that kind of shit because I'm really opposed to that kind of stuff.
I'm glad to hear, and I do just want to point out there is a level of legal liability with that sort of incitement. Mm-hmm. You may have heard or read about this, but Trump is being sued. Yeah.
He should be, dude. Happens. He literally said he would pay for the fucking... He's going to end up taking the Alex Jones defense. You know that, right? Where he's like, oh, no, I was just an entertainer. I was just kind of joking. Like, I didn't really mean that. It's fucking stupid.
A judge would not accept that argument with a public official.
I hope not.
It's different when... To some degree, people can consider Alex Jones an entertainer, because I'm sure some people find that entertaining. Mm-hmm. But, that once you're in government, that just doesn't work. Like, you can be a public figure, and that's different, but being a public official has its own weight.
Yeah, and that I absolutely think Trump should take liability for that, because he unequivocally encouraged that type of violence at his events. Yeah, just for the record.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so... just kind of segue, just because my questions are a little bit fucked. Mm-hmm. So hit pieces. I've heard you speak about. I mean, I've seen you watch these, and I'm going to use the hit pieces because it's your term, or it's the term that gets thrown around in your discussions and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But first, how does it make you feel when people make these about you?
I guess it's usually my feelings are usually just of disappointment. I guess I have a very particular type of personality. I'm a pretty cold person in real life. I'm not usually emotionally affected by very many things. Aside from literally like my son, I can't think of very many things that have a great emotional impact on me. I don't know for whatever reasons why are we the things we are. So I mean I've been on the internet for a long time, so I'm not like emotionally distraught, if that's kind of what you're getting at when I see people make things about me. It doesn't hurt my feelings. I don't go to bed crying at night. It is very irritating to me on an intellectual level, because I had a lot of conversations about a lot of topics that had a great deal of substance to them. With Sargon, we're talking about, issues in the black community. We're talking about the agency of people to act freely, free of their environment. We're talking about immigration. We're talking about Brexit. We're talking about a lot of heavy topics. And same thing with JonTron. We were talking about matters of race, cultural and ethnic identity, the nationalism, the right to protect your country, the sacrificing of an economy for a culture. Like, there are a lot of really heavy topics here. So when somebody comes out and makes a 15-minute video in response to that, as so many videos were, and all of them are just random personal attacks on me. I guess it's a little bit annoying that I go through the effort of being as well read, I guess, as I can be on some of these topics, and then I come out the other end with people calling me a pedophile and a communist, and it's like, okay, well, that seems a little bit silly. It's also very disappointing to me on another level, because largely the rise of this quote-unquote, and it leaves a bad taste in my mouth to say it, the skeptic community on YouTube, the rise of these people was largely in response to SJWs that engaged in the same type of character assassination warfare. So to see it happen on the other side with Richard Lewis, with Sargon, with people just making these really absurd claims about me, you know, not like, wow, Destiny, Destiny's so dumb because he thinks that the trade-off of free labor in the country is worth the depression in wages of people in the United States who are high school dropouts. That'd be a legitimate criticism to levy at me. But instead it's Destiny, oh, that guy wants to invade Mexico and he's a communist. Like, okay, I mean, I haven't really said either of those things, but sure. It's depressing to see the side engage in that when that side was kind of created as a response to people that do that to people on their side, you know?
Now, I mean, can you really expect anything else? Because you know that they're intellectually dishonest going into these.
I don't know, dude. Every year of my life, how old are you?
I'm 22. I turned 22 today, actually.
Oh, gotcha. I'm 28. I don't know. I lose more faith in people every day. So maybe now I don't expect it. Maybe I expect more now. Maybe in 5 years, if you ask me that, I'll expect less. I don't know.
Well, all right. Now, you've also used the term hit piece in the context of the Wall Street Journal article on, what was it, PewDiePie?
Yeah.
You want to take me through your thinking on that? Because that, I feel like, is something that we're going to disagree on.
I guess I got into an argument with a guy in my chat, and I read this article a few weeks ago. The first one that they'd put out. I guess that I don't know. So here's a problem. Here's a problem that I've had growing up. The PewDiePie situation is near and dear to me because I've experienced this kind of similar stuff. There's a distinction you can make, right? I think that you can say racist things without being racist. I think you can say homophobic things without being homophobic. So let me give a further example of this. I don't know if you're aware of this or how long you've been a follower of me or whatever, but a long time ago I used to say faggot very, very frequently. It was like a staple word.
I mean, but that is something that's very common with the video game industry, and opinions on that, let's say, have changed very, very drastically within the last few years. And I noticed that, I don't know when you stopped, I should make that very clear, but I noticed that you do not use that anymore.
Sure, and I don't because of a personal revelation I had. I don't really care much about the common whatever. It's generally, I try to be as consistent with myself as possible, right? I had a personal revelation when talking to some people, and I realized that I just didn't want to say it anymore. But the problem was, leading up to that point, if people would have approached me and said, Destiny, when you use the word faggot, even if you don't mean to, you unintentionally can encourage homophobia. Like, there are ways to it, blah, blah, blah. Now, there are some people that say this, but it's very, very, very few people actually said that. But instead, people would say, Destiny, oh, he's homophobic. Oh, Destiny, he's a homophobe, right? Or if you would say certain things like, oh, you know, like, oh, he's a racist, he's a homophobe, right? It would just be these massive blanket statements. And it's like, well, damn, is that really true? Because I feel like when you make statements like this, and this is what all of my stream is about, is having the right conversation, right? When you make statements like that, like, I don't think, I'm not a racist. I've never been a racist. And no legitimate person would ever call me a racist. Now, could you argue that I have said or done things that could contribute to a climate of racism or homophobia? Absolutely. You absolutely could. And I would probably even agree with some of those arguments. Like, that's undeniable, right? Or I use the word autistic a lot, right? You can make arguments that doing so denigrates people with mental illness, right, in a negative way. There are lots of legitimate arguments to be made there. My problem with the PewDiePie hit piece was that it felt like, instead of saying that, like, I don't know, instead of being of the mindset that maybe using anti-Semitic remarks, could contribute to a climate, blah, 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 it was more like PewDiePie is literally a Nazi. That's kind of how it came off to me.
Now, here's the thing to consider, and you can mistake me or you can correct me if I'm mistaken on the numbers here. But PewDiePie was what, the largest YouTube channel like in existence at that point?
Still is, yeah.
Still is.
Well, I think so. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's just go out on a limb and say that's the definition of mainstream. Would you agree with that?
What do you mean by mainstream?
Well, I mean, the idea behind mainstream is audience size, correct?
Okay. Yeah,
that's
sure. He's got a massive audience.
Referred to that as.
Yeah, sure. He's got a massive audience. Sure.
Now, we talked about responsibility in media, and I think you would agree that he is a member of the quote-unquote media. And first, before we go any further, I just want to address this. to the people in chat. I'm using media here as a monolith for the purposes of this intellectual exercise. Media, quote unquote, is not a thing. Outlets are different to each other, so on and so on. And continue. Or was I making a point?
Wait, yeah, you were making a point.
Making
You were talking about
okay.
PewDiePie is a very, very large figure in media, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. So at this point, he, like I do. So when I covered the elections, I had a responsibility to cover the elections because they were the most important thing going on in America, period. Full stop.
Sure.
Now, he, as a member of the quote-unquote mainstream media, shares a similar responsibility, and I feel like it's a responsibility that, I mean, you understand because you said it earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there appears to me to be a certain lack of responsibility when someone of that size, or with an audience of that size, spreads these beliefs, even in jest. And I mean, we can discuss whether or not he's racist. He may or may not be. I don't watch him. But essentially, a line gets drawn at some point once your audience reaches a certain size, and what you say is what you are. Do you understand? Or do you understand where I'm coming from, rather?
Oh, I understand completely, yeah. Kind of, yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, given that, how does that play into your view of the situation?
So what you're talking about now, this is exactly the kind of stuff I'm talking about. This is a fascinating conversation. What is the responsibility of a content creator to his audience? I think that a piece about that, should PewDiePie be using any type of anti-Semitic humor, or is that not acceptable, of somebody with an audience of his size, rather than just saying that PewDiePie is exhibiting anti-Semitic behavior or whatever? Like, do you kind of understand like the difference? Like, I think that it's interesting to have the conversation on what is the responsibility to your audience, especially when you're talking about new media and people on the internet who are in an unexplored territory. I feel like those conversations are more fruitful than just labeling somebody anti-Semitic. And just as an example, like we've kind of foregone this, where both you and I kind of agree that content creators have a responsibility to the audience. This is something that not everybody agrees on. This is a very hotly contested idea, examples that I always give, because I thought they were so fascinating, because I started reading about these after I had made the same kind of decision on not to say faggot anymore, or at least as little as possible, trying to say never. Is that there are other content creators that have gone through these similar struggles in the past. Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, Louis C.K. have all had these struggles where they've had very specific acts that had elements of racial or homophobic humor involved in them. And then they realized afterwards that they didn't want to continue doing that kind of humor, because there were people that were listening to it and finding, I guess, comfort in it, that they didn't want to listen to it and think they had an ally with them. And
there's that classic example of the Chris Rock bit where it's
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, but like that's a skit.
The one I'm talking about. I don't want to say it, but
he stopped doing that skit completely. That was so a couple things. One, that was a funny skit. Two, Chris Rock's not racist. I don't think he is, and he's never given any indication for you to believe so. I'm not just saying because he's black he's not racist, but I've never seen him act racist or do anything racist. So we all know that he's not racist, and we all know that the skit was obviously funny. It was one of his funniest skits. But should he not be allowed to say that? Like, he doesn't think he wants to anymore, but nobody was calling him racist. So this is still like a really hotly contested area. And what are you allowed to joke about? What are you, what should be joked about? It's a very, very strange area. Like, I'm of the mindset that I probably think that in 5 to 10 years, I'll probably believe that all satire just shouldn't exist, because at some point satirization becomes indistinguishable from the people that you're satirizing, and you end up with an audience of people that agree with you with your satire. Like, so I don't even know, but I just wanted to bring that up, that even the topic of what you should or shouldn't be allowed to joke about, or the responsibility of your audience, that's still something that's like really hotly contested,
Mm-hmm. No, and I agree totally there. And I mean, I got to be honest, as someone that's journalism, that's incredibly, incredibly frustrating, because one of the greatest points of decline in the country, in my opinion, I want to make that very clear, is the death of civics education and the democratization. Oh man, can't pronounce shit. God damn, dude.
Democratization? Wow. Is that
the democratization of media?
Okay.
Now, what I mean by that is, I mean, obviously, new media has spread about. There are, say, news outlets now.
Mm-hmm.
There are outlets for new media like, Twitch, things like you. And what that has done, first off, is it has vastly decreased the influence and power of legacy media outlets, which whatever gripes, and there are valid gripes, and if you want, you can address some of those with me because holy shit, um, it's there. But these outlets, generally work to the common good and so on and so forth.
Wait, today you would say that? I don't think I would agree with that in the United States.
I'm sorry, which
That
could you
media outlets work to the common good. I feel that they
Oh
have
no,
a
I'm saying in the past. Now the
oh
profit motive rules almost
yeah,
exclusively, and
exactly,
there's
yeah,
some very interesting things about the profit motive and then resources impact and other discussions. But I'm not sure that anyone in your chat is really gonna care about these things that are essentially just things journalists talk about.
sure.
All right. Now, do you have any more thoughts on that leg of the conversation?
Um, no, not really. I don't think.
All right. So, I mean, those are all the questions I prepared. So now let's talk about your very against violence bit.
Uh-oh.
Now, I should preface this and say that my view of the world is based off of what is called a moral calculus. So, and the basis for that system is essentially, and I use violence in the academic sense where it's harm done to another person or group or so on. Now, that obviously has ranges. It could be very little harm, or it can be, assault, murder, genocide, so on and so on, or it could be more abstract things like the sort of things we were talking about where you're creating essentially a situation where homophobia or racism or whatever else can flourish.
Mm-hmm.
Pull a caveat. I'm going to recommend that you read Rising Up and Rising Down.
Okay.
You're not going to agree with the writer.
Sure.
It's essentially where I drew a large portion of this philosophy, let's say. Very worth it. Very good writer. But moving on. So you said you're very against violence. Are you against violence in all situations?
No, just in terms of when it comes to political discourse, I'm against violence. I'm not like a pacifist or anything, though, and I believe in self-defense.
Okay, fantastic. I'm very glad you believe in self-defense, first off, because that's
Yeah,
fairly basic to my philosophy.
Sure.
And okay, so moving on to political violence, would you agree that politics in some sense can create, and I don't want to use the terms they use in or when they teach these things in college, but can create oppression essentially?
I don't. Maybe, yeah, in a very abstract way. I don't think politics themselves can, but politics can influence policy, which I think can.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Now, this gets into a few of the complicated things, and this is one of the downfalls of the moral calculus in that no one is actually good enough to apply it. And since the truth is only that the truth exists, not that we know it,
Mm-hmm.
It's essentially impossible to apply accurately, which is unfortunate, but it makes for fun academic exercises. So there's this idea of there are various other ones like assault on ground, or rather, I should say defensive creed, defensive ground, so on and so on. Now, this would fall into probably the creed category, I want to say. And I mean, that's one of the hazier ones, but essentially, at some point, it becomes just violent uprising against authority, against, an assault, an attacker on your creed, I should say, becomes justified.
Okay, so you're
Makes it
asking
okay to,
you're asking me when or you're talking about when violence becomes okay when somebody is attacking your creed or your beliefs, I guess, or ideology.
yeah, to a certain degree, yes.
Okay.
Doesn't make it okay to punch someone that you disagree with in the face, rather.
Oh no, and if you're
But
asking me in my opinion, no, I would disagree. No, I don't think so. What is that where we disagree?
well, it's not necessarily a disagreement. It's just an academic exercise.
Oh, okay, yeah. Then I mean, no, I would say no. I don't think anybody should be able to attack anybody over their creeds or their ideas.
Okay. Now, what happens when someone attacks your creed?
Then you'd speak
I feel
back.
like when I say that,
Mm-hmm.
no, I feel like when I say that, that's what you might get. But I feel like a more accurate. Are you familiar with what's going on in Turkey?
Some memes are going on with the Erdogan guy. I don't know exactly what's didn't he just do like a referendum or something to influence how future voting would go or something? I'm not entirely sure.
Yes, and this is maybe not the best example because this goes into
Wowie,
things
more
like
like wowie.
defense against, or rather, defense against authority and justification for violent revolution, and so on and so on,
Mm-hmm.
which are, again, too complicated to do. But so essentially, after the coup attempt in Turkey, which, Turkey has coups every however many years.
Sure.
But yeah, so after the coup attempt, Erdogan essentially went on a rampage, jailing members of the opposition, journalists who were either favorable to the opposition or, reported neutrally or in ways that were unflattering to Erdogan. And he also went after university professors who did the same, and he also went after party leaders. Now, the referendum that you mentioned is very important because that's what this all leads up to.
Mm-hmm.
So after massive interferences with the opposition and essentially him doing everything he possibly could, he won the referendum. Now, you could frame the institution of, what are they calling it? Is it like democratic authoritarianism or something like that?
Uh-huh.
I don't know. That's not their term. It's I think like it doesn't matter. Presidential democracy is what I think it is.
Okay.
Something like that. It doesn't matter. So that you can frame as an assault on, the Turkish institutions that are essentially destroying the Turkish government. The Turkish Supreme Court is probably just, or the judiciary, I should say, is probably just non-existent or non-functional at this point. In that case, the violence that, actually happened where PKK supporters or AKP supporters are being attacked for their beliefs, that aside, do you think that justifies a violent uprising?
So was the referendum election, was that a fair vote or was it rigged or something? I'm not familiar with like how good Turkey's political process should be fairly good, right? They're not like rigging elections or anything, are they?
Well, I can't say that it's rigged in so much as, someone stuffing the ballot box, but again, you had essentially pro-government forces jailing opposition politicians, jailing any journalists
Mm-hmm.
that may have been favorable to them. Turkey, or media in Turkey, is very much state controlled. Like, you probably don't read any Turkish media because why the fuck would anybody? Many of the outlets are essentially mouthpieces for the Turkish government, and even within the last few years, many of those outlets have been taken over by the Turkish government, where they literally came into the newsroom and, ousted the editors.
Sure. I mean, like,
so
if your country is literally being taken over against the will of the people, then yeah, I think you have a right to a violent uprising.
But here's the question: is it against the will of the people?
Well, that's why I'm asking. That's why I'm asking if the election was rigged or not. Was it?
No, yeah, I understand where you're coming from, but like, these are the things that get dealt with in real world. Situations are messy. We can't necessarily say.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if people believe
the election was rigged, quote unquote.
If people believe the election was rigged, then yeah, sure, I guess that would be enough to. If you have good evidence or feel on good faith that the election was actually rigged, then sure, I guess I would give you right in my eyes to a violent uprising.
Okay, so we come back to the point of perception then, right?
Uh-huh.
Very good. Okay. All right.
But I think
we're
very far removed from punching Nazis in the street, though. Like, I think that's very far removed from that.
We're very far removed from that. Yeah. And I mean, again, this is a hypothetical in so much as we're discounting various things, and in so much as, again, the truth is that the truth exists, not that we know what the truth is.
Sure. But that's the big problem when people talk about political violence. Like, you say that, and that's true. The truth exists, and our goal is to get closer and closer to it, but nobody has absolute hand on what it is. But the problem when you talk about justifying political violence against people that are against your creed, who are you to say, which creeds are worth defending with violence and which aren't, right? Like, we don't want to live in a society, especially in the United
Oh,
States.
you hit it right on the head. But go on.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, because we live in a society in the United States. Now, this might not be true of every single country, so I'm only going to speak for in the United States. But in the United States,
Okay.
we're supposed to have, or not supposed to, but we have diversity of thought. There are people that believe very different things, right? So who are you to say that, one particular ideology is wrong and warrants violence unless you are claiming that you somehow have a hand on absolute moral truth? Like, who are you to say that the Nazi is wrong, and who are you to say that, or like, maybe the Nazi feels that he's justified and that certain people should be eradicated? Maybe that is his idea. Who's to say that one is wrong or one is right? In this land, we kind of have to live with diversity of thought, and unless somebody is actually going as far as to infringe upon your rights that we all agree exist, you can't really do anything to hurt him, because the government doesn't recognize, that there is one absolute correct way of thinking, as long as it's in line with our current legal system.
All right, I just want to make clear. I hope that you're using the you as in like the hypothetical you and not ascribing these beliefs to me.
Oh,
right?
yeah, no, yeah, oh, yeah, I'm just saying you, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I would very much agree with that. And I want to ask you what you think the limits of the majority are in this situation.
We have in the United States protections in our Constitution that are there to protect the rights of the minority. I would hope that those will always be defended for, and I would hope that the majority always recognizes the necessity of protecting the minority there. But I guess if at one point the majority decides to say fuck it and screw over the minority, I mean, the minority would have a right to a violent uprising, and I guess we would go from there. But I mean, so far
All right,
it seems like...
Given that, how do you feel about the Senate implementing the nuclear option regarding the Supreme Court nominations?
All of these things are so complicated. You can maybe give me some more background here if you're more familiar with it. So I'm aware that, so let me summarize this to the best of my abilities. Basically,
Okay.
The Democrats were saying that they weren't going to hold a vote on the Gorsuch nomination, and then the Republican dude said, fuck you, we're going to hold it anyway, even if you don't want us to, by doing the nuclear option, I guess bypassing or ignoring courtesy or whatever. But I was under the, I feel like I've read once that nuclear option is only necessary because the Democrats made it possible to filibuster Supreme Court nominees during Obama's term. Is that true or not? Or
That's not quite right. So what made it possible for the nuclear option is essentially under Obama, the Democrats removed, or they essentially implemented the nuclear option, but for lower level judicial appointees.
Okay.
So Obama had a bunch of federal judges waiting for confirmations, essentially, that he couldn't get a vote on because, the Senate wanted to be obstructionist, which, they always do when they don't have a majority.
Sure.
And yeah, so they did that and they opened the door.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Then it goes in line with what I've read. I mean, damn. I mean, you made your bed, now you have to sleep in it. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to feel bad for him if that's the case. Like,
I don't know. I mean, firstly, you just got to respect the fucking political maneuvering that went down with Merrick Garland.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think that the political situation in the United States right now is really fucked for a lot of different reasons. But everything that went on with Brexit and everything that's going on in the United States right now is makes me wonder about the merits of democracy. I'm not sure. I mean, that's obviously a much more broad conversation, but given people's abilities to be so easily manipulated at levels that are currently unimaginable, right? The ideas that we could spread fake news on platforms like Facebook, and that could have a major determining factor in the election of the United States of America is pretty unbelievable. That's insane to me. There are people that are running around that believe that Hillary Clinton and John Podesta, visit some dude doing seances and fuck children and eat pizza and some crazy fucking shit. And there are a scary number of people that believe this is real, right? Or there are people that believe that I guess much like Russia tried to do a long time ago, or succeeded in doing, is the idea that every single media platform is the same, that CNN is fake news the same way that Alex Jones is fake news, that all of these media platforms are exactly equal, that AP and Reuters, do just as good reporting as Lauren Southern from Rebel Media or Tommy Lauren from The Blaze, that all of these things become equal because they say things that you don't agree with. Like, we've taken confirmation bias up to like levels previously thought unbelievable.
Yeah, no, and I mean, I've mentioned this in your chat before, but you would be absolutely astounded at the amount of mail that I get, calling me fake news.
Oh,
And
I wouldn't be astounded. I could believe anything. At this point, I would believe anything. So there's like a saying like you'll never go bankrupt gambling on the stupidity of the American people or something like I don't know.
yeah, I mean, I would extend that to the people in general. I don't know if there's
Oh
any
yeah, oh
reason
yeah,
to
yeah.
single out Americans.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, we
Yeah,
saw it in Great Britain or the United Kingdom to some extent as well. So I mean, yeah.
I mean, you mentioned fake news and it spread over Facebook, and this isn't necessarily related to anything other than that,
Mm-hmm.
but it's so incredibly easy for these people to do this. And the reason for that is these essentially spam accounts on Facebook or Twitter are so cheap. I could literally buy right now for $900.
Mm-hmm.
Not really any way to stop it because similarly to how
So I
similar to how viruses have existed for the last 30 years.
I
Oh,
disagree
go
with
on,
that.
go on.
I don't think that that's the important part. I do agree that you can buy fake, buy bots to spread fake news or whatever, but that's not the story to me. That's not the important part to me. The fact of the matter is that it works. That's why people do it. Humans are prone to something. I brought the term up earlier, right? Humans are prone to something called confirmation bias, right? If we believe in a certain thing, we're more likely to seek out information that agrees with that. I think that the internet has given us an unprecedented opportunity to satisfy that bias in the worst way possible. Whatever crazy fucking idea you have, whatever stupid thought is floating in your head, whatever unsubstantiated claim you have, you can find a group of people on the internet that agree with you, no matter what. You never have to challenge your ideas. You never have to change your mind. You never have to be confronted with uncomfortable data or uncomfortable facts, and you just go on the internet and you find people that agree with you. And I think that this is a fucking cancer. I think that this is one of the worst things that people do. I go out of my way, and I even get flack from my audience sometimes. I go out of my way as much as possible to stay away from all forms of circle jerk. I think that is where intellectuality goes to die. And I extend this even to my fucking hobbies. I don't even go to that PC Master Race subreddit, right? Because the only way that those people can be happy is if they're shitting on consoles. Like, it's so fucking stupid. Like, people's tendencies to find people that agree with them and then circle jerk their opinions until they've made like a perpetual energy machine out of the jerking of themselves and fly off to the sun in some fantasy land is insane. It's insane to me. So I understand that people can buy fake news and spread it easily, but the damaging thing to me isn't that people can do it. It's that people will listen to it and then parrot it themselves, For instance, that hit piece video that was made about me, there were no bots made to spread that, but I still get people calling me a communist and a pedophile and a bunch of crazy shit all the time on my fucking social media feed, and nobody paid for that to be spread around. People just see something about somebody that they don't like, and they want to believe it instantly without questioning it. I don't know if you've seen this happen, dude. I don't know if you've seen this happen.
Oh, no, I've even seen data. Like, I've seen this during the election. I saw this play out with evangelicals in real time as the campaign went on. There's this idea of motivated reasoning, which it's similar to confirmation bias, but it's more from the other direction, essentially. So instead of seeing something that aligns with your beliefs and believing it without giving it any critical thought, and they exhibit certain qualities or they don't exhibit certain qualities. And I don't have the poll numbers for this like on hand, but essentially the way it worked out was before or even early in 2016, Christian evangelicals from some demographic said by I think like an 80-point margin that being a moral upstanding person was a mandatory qualification for being a good president. Do you want to know what those numbers said in late October?
That for you being a good person to be president?
Yeah, so essentially like that was a necessary quality.
Oh, what were they?
It flipped, and I think it was something like 70-30 in favor of it's not important.
Yeah, that's not surprising to me now, sure. I look at the whole Republican change I know that you're younger, but damn, dude, when I grew up, listening to my mom talk about how Russia was literally going to fucking take over the world and how much the Republican Party fucking hated Russia. And now you have the president of the United States who is a Republican who just can't stop praising Putin no matter what. And he can't ever find himself ever. Unless I've missed it, I have never once heard Trump utter a single negative thing about that country. He's praised their elections. He's praised Putin as being a strong leader. He's praised Putin somehow, I guess, reviving their economy. Like, he can't stop himself from saying nice things about him. I don't know. I think that's very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a sort of a tail turn with that from the administration, but I do believe that you're right, and I don't think Trump has turned on that in any way.
He'll just,
personally.
as soon as he talks to somebody that tells him it's a bad idea, I'm sure he'll change his mind in 2 seconds because he has no real fucking opinions about anything. With
a comment like that, like, I know this has been reported in the media, but this is not something that really anyone knows. Like, I know people have sources within the administration that say that, you know, Trump listens to the last person he spoke to.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's a belief that I wouldn't let yourself get so invested in. Like, I don't read the White House intrigues shit anymore because it has no value. It's commodity news, essentially.
Sure. I mean, to me, it seems my biggest criticism of Trump, because I consider myself to be a somewhat intellectual person, and I value intellectual honesty and intellectuality. These are things that are important to me. My biggest criticism of Trump since the very fucking start is that I consider Trump to be a stupid person. Not like a rude, crass, or, uninformed about a particular issue, blah, blah, blah. He might be all of these things, but I genuinely do believe that Trump is legitimately very stupid. I think he is. Anytime I listen to him stumble through any of these conversations on policy, it's just cringeworthy. I feel like I'm listening to kind of a teenager, they've thought about well, what do you think about war? Well, I think it's really dumb when our generals tell him that we're coming ahead of time. That's so dumb, right? Because then they know we're coming, right? And he finds himself like halfway through his thoughts. He's like, yeah, that's a good idea. Like, what do you think about killing, terrorists and their families? Like, I mean, yeah, sure, yeah, fuck yeah, actually, yeah, let's kill them all, yeah, kill the fucking families of terror. Like, he just it's just everything he says just reeks of like ignorance. Like, he has no fucking idea. And then like sometimes like the next day he'll be like, oh, I talked to some of my generals and yeah, maybe we shouldn't torture people, I guess. And it's like he seems very wishy-washy in all of his opinions, and yeah, Trump just comes off as being somebody that's just very, very, very unintelligent to me. So that's why I would be very easy to buy into the idea that he doesn't feel very strongly about any of his opinions, because I don't think he knows enough to feel very strongly about any of his opinions.
And I mean, that's something that I would say that we have some degree of empirical evidence for, because it's 3 months into the administration now, and we have essentially zero policy specifics. He's fucked his entire honeymoon period out of.
He made an enemy of everybody. Of fucking everything. He turned the whole IC against him. Why would you do this? Of the fucking military, of everybody. He made enemies out of every single fucking person. And he managed to, how do you piss off the fucking leader of Australia? Like just the dumbest fucking things. Not shaking Theresa May's hand. Like, just the dumbest shit. He constantly, why are we, like 5 days after his election, Spicer is still coming out to tell us that the inauguration was the largest one ever. Like, why are we talking about this shit? Like, yeah, I don't know. I just don't consider Trump to be very intelligent. I don't know.
No, yeah, and I mean, we could talk about this forever, but
yeah.
I do want to move back a little bit.
Yeah, real quick, in terms of what we were talking before about that confirmation bias, if you want to do good investigative journalism and you want the best fact-checking you will ever get, go post an article in a community that disagrees with the conclusion, and you will see investigative journalism like you've never believed before. So there will be a subreddit. Go. There'll be a subreddit called like Pussy Pass Denied or whatever, right? And this is a subreddit where a woman does something dumb and she gets punished for it, right? So you can post like, here is a Daily Mail link. Oh, look at this fucking dumb bitch. Like, oh yeah, she got fucked. Here's the Sun link. Oh wow, look at this fucking stupid bitch. Like, oh god. Here's a Daily Wire link. Oh my god. Here's a Breitbart link. Ha, what a dumb bitch. Here's a link from the Wall Street Journal showing this or this or this. Like, well, hold on 1 second. If you look at the author of this article actually has ties to a media organization that's actually paid for a company that he worked with 5 years prior to that, and he references something, and it's like, holy fuck, like now we're gonna become like when you post something with a conclusion that people don't like, they will analyze and overanalyze the fuck out of every single part of that article, and it's like, oh my god, like investigative journalism on a level you've never seen before. But like when you post like blog spam sites saying, by the way, we just uncovered the 6th corpse that was raped by Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton, and Monica Lewinsky was there taking pictures of it, people are like, oh yeah, that definitely happened for sure, and they like don't even question it at all.
Yeah. I do just want to contramand your definition of investigative journalism.
Yeah, no,
there.
I say that very memey.
Just,
Like, but I mean, I should say like being like hypercritical or even overcritical of sources. Like, only happens when that source disagrees with what you say.
Yeah, no, fully. And I want to kind of to go back to the spam bot stuff. This is why these worked. Like, this is why fake news was able to spread. This because
Hi,
Facebook's detection
Steven.
method for fake accounts. Essentially, the way they thought an account was real is they looked for, this might not be the exact term, but positive interaction. So it's something like, you know,
like
sharing
or
a
a
link
share
or
or
commenting
something.
on a page or whatever.
Mhm.
And massive shares, they were getting a fuck ton of comments and so on and so on. So, I mean, this certainly is a huge problem. And the only possible way that we're going to be able to fight it, and it probably won't even work, is media literacy. But again, it probably isn't going to work.
Yeah, education, something in the schools with being able to, like, I literally, like, Lauren Southern has. Do you know who Lauren Southern is?
No, I don't.
She has White House credentials now. She was a reporter for the Rebel Media. She's like a young 21-year-old hot blonde chick who they have like talking and doing journalist piece. Like, doesn't understand like data collection, right? So she thinks that she can go to an area and talk to people and that those people will be a representative cross-sectional sample of everything going on in that city.
Holy
right?
shit.
Yeah, but there are a lot of people that believe this. And one of the most painful things about my discussions are when I start talking to people, I realize that I have to go down so many levels to communicate ideas. Like like I'm talking to people that literally believe that if I go to a city and I talk to 5 people, I can figure out what's going on in the city, right? A quote that Lauren Southern used against me in our debate, she said, "Oh, well, Destiny, data is just the plural of anecdote." Like, no, the data collection is a science in and of itself. Like getting good representative cross-sectional data. And I remember reading and studying so much about polling and the difficulties of polling in schools. And how, like, even the difference between how you phrase a question, whether or not you poll people by telephone, like, these are all, like, incredibly complicated areas. And this is somebody who thinks, and there are lots of people that think this, that, well, I saw a video of a riot once in Malmo, Sweden, so that whole fucking country must be falling apart. It's like, dude, that's one riot or protest from one day, from one section, in one neighborhood, in one city. Like, dude, like, chill. Like how and the people not real, or how many people think that economics is a zero-sum game? If there is a winner in an economic trade, there is a loser, and everything balances out to zero at the end. There are a lot of people.
Absolute advantage is taught in fucking the first macro class you will ever fucking take.
See, and that's what
most basic shit.
That's what I think, right? And I have a lot of people, and even you to some extent, have come to me and say like, "Oh, Destiny, I think you're very intelligent. I think you're very well spoken." And it's like, I mean, sure, and I feel that way now, but I'm only repeating things that I learned in high school. Like, these are very, very basic things. But the fact that this escapes so many people, like, yeah, it's not a good thing that so many people are so easily swayed by so many bad numbers, by bad reporting, by bad data, by not being critical of what they're being told, by all of that is just really, really, really disturbing to me.
All right, I got 2 things I want to throw at you.
Mm-hmm.
One is just sort of reinforcing that whole data collection point.
Yeah.
So I'm working on an investigative story, not for the mainstream outlet. It's for like a statewide. And it's essentially housing investigation in one particular city. So there are a few populations I'm focused on, one particular one of them that has, I don't know, maybe like 6,000 or so housing units in the city.
Okay.
Discuss a way to conduct surveys, like, you know, ideally.
What are you trying? What are you trying to survey? Just.
I mean, it's in general just like housing problems. So almost all these people are going to be renters.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, what problems have they had with the housing? Are there broken doors, broken windows?
Oh, gotcha. Do
things not lock? Are there leaks? Are there mold, so on and so on? Or overcrowding is also a big one. Like before I even started doing any of the polling, the fucking city official just straight up admitted that overcrowding was like rampant. But yeah, so with my editor, I had to discuss how are we going to phrase the questions. We actually went and talked to a pollster.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we had a professional pollster instruct us on how to phrase these questions. We also had him talk to us about how we were going to collect the data. Now, we ended up doing it over the internet just because, you know, journalism, the money's kind of tight right now. But yeah, so we did it online. It, how we're going to publicize it, the type of wording that we're going to use in there. So this is all very important. Now, moving on from that completely, that conversation is done. I wrote an article, again, towards the tail end of October, where it was a bunch of pollsters talking about polling. And the thing to realize here is that polling is a science, yes, but pollsters do not understand error at all. And they will tell you this. They will straight up say, we think this is what is going to happen. We could be totally wrong.
Sure.
That's really it. That's like, again, just two things I want to add.
Okay. Gotcha.
I've reached the end of my pad, or the portion of my pad that has words on it. Do you have anything you want to take me to task for?
Not really that I can think of. I guess. What is your do you do like you write articles essentially, or
Various multimedia shit, but yeah, mainly just to print. I don't like TV as a medium. It's very, very limited.
Gotcha.
And I mean, I say take me to task, but if there are any things that you feel like the media industry does poorly, then I mean, feel free to say that, and I will either try to give a justification or state that one does not exist.
Oh, well, I mean, obviously we know that the media completely fucked up their handling of the election. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to blame the profit motive there. There's also the issue of generational memory. So you'll notice a lot of the times when there is, a new president coming in, a lot of the reporters that come in are also just fresh.
Mm-hmm.
So the problem with political journalism is that there is this very high turnover because there's a lot of travel involved, especially during a campaign. Keep up, whereas a 50-year-old reporter who's, sat through for X amount of administrations is not going to. I mean, there are, of course, exceptions like Andrea Mitchell's been around for forever, and, she does a good job. But other than that, there are fairly few. That obviously that doesn't excuse us, and that doesn't excuse the type of false equivalency that went on the election, just the type of focus on nonsense. Like, I'm going to say, from WikiLeaks, from WikiLeaks, the only actual thing that came out that had any sort of journalistic value were the speech transcripts. That was it. That was the only thing.
Sure.
But again, because people either want to believe whatever they want to believe, or because they don't understand what means what. Like a lot of the communications between campaign personnel and journalists, that I know it doesn't look great, but that stuff's all very routine. Like,
mm-hmm. Oh, no, I understood that. I figured that at the start. Like, people are like, oh my God, can you believe that people in the DNC were contacting CNN and giving them advice on, like, how to run their... Yeah, I mean, I'm sure those kinds of relationships exist throughout all of media.
Keep them aligned, like.
Yeah, of course. Like, to make sure the messaging is consistent, to make sure that your contacts you still have access and everything. Like, yeah, that's pretty fucking standard shit. This is one of the big crimes. This is one of the big reasons why I was mad that nothing got leaked on the Republican side, right? And that's why I hated all the fucking idiots that were talking about transparency, and it's great that we got transparency for once in our system. Transparency on one side is not transparency. It's borderline propaganda, okay? If you have two murderers running for president, okay, and you find out about one of them being a murderer, so you all flock to the other, that's not transparency. That's fucking propaganda, dog. Like, if you don't have it in all areas on both sides, you're not getting transparency. Somebody's just feeding you a fucking narrative, and you're eating it hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah, all right. And just because you mentioned that, and because I've done some reporting on this, the Obama administration was far and away, they have leagues and leagues behind them and the next person. They were far and away the least transparent administration in history.
The Obama administration?
But they were awful.
Oh, sure. I mean, I've
surveilled
heard...
journalists. They
all
sorts of disclosures.
Yeah.
What? The Trump administration is shaping up to be worse.
Sure, they probably
Like,
will be if they have the competency to do it. But I mean, that's a legitimate criticism that you could levy at a lot of mainstream media today. Is that the mainstream media was very much asleep. We've got all these reports now about Trump, dropping that or going to bomb that airport in Syria. Where the fuck was anybody talking about all of the military involvement in Syria when Obama was president? I don't remember hearing fucking almost anything about that from the mainstream media. All the bombing and shit and everything we did over there and supporting the groups and whatnot. Like, I don't remember hearing fuck all about any of that when Obama was president. Like, where was the reporting?
No, yeah, I completely agree with that. And I mean, in this situation, I have to give props to outlets like The Intercept that, I mean, they wrote a fucking book about this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Read it, 'cause I don't really care, but
Yeah. And even people saying things like there were no scandals under Obama and everything. Like,
what about the fucking IRS?
oh no, I was just gonna bring that up. I was gonna say, like, that actually seemed like one of the biggest deals to me, that the IRS was targeting conservative organizations. That's really fucking scary. That's if you want to talk about like some fascism tier shit, like using part of the government to financially target groups that politically disagree with you, that is a big fucking deal. And it really didn't get that much airtime or play. Nobody really cared about it that much. Like,
no, I would honestly go out on a limb and say that if I saw that in a list of articles of impeachment, I'd just be like, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, that was I don't know, was that ever tied to Obama directly, or Obama's like kind of a cabinet or anything like that, or was it just like a Democrat?
I don't believe so. Last I remember, they were just having committee hearings on it with the head of the IRS. I don't remember anyone from the actual administration getting roped into it, but I could be wrong there. I was working local or statewide at that point. I don't really remember.
Sure. The one big thing that bothers me about the media, earlier, because you guys going to take you to task, whatever. The biggest thing. Yeah. Do you ever watch esports at all?
I mean, yeah, I watch streams, so I guess so.
You watch streams?
Or, I mean, yeah, like.
Do you watch like tournaments?
Okay, not so much anymore, just because I work fucking like 70 hours a week. But
did you ever watch?
Yeah, I'll watch like a Smash Bros tournament. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, I don't know about the fighting game community. Well, I guess it's just Smash, so it's not fighting game. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, you can extend it. I've seen like LCS in the past as well.
Basically, something that goes on in esports that always bothered me, and I don't think I hear it as much in like college football, because it's really the only thing I listen to, right? But in esports, something that really bothered me was that when people are commenting a game, okay, and I knew this from StarCraft, I was a professional or semi-professional StarCraft player. When people are commenting a game, player A will make an obvious mistake. It is something that is purely bad. It's just it is strictly a bad action, right? And the commentators, instead of saying like, oh, player A, has made a blunder here or has made a mistake, they'll always spin it into be like, oh, player A made a very, very strange decision to do this, or player A, did an attack here. It might not be that effective, or they made this, and it's always kind of like okay, that was actually like a big mistake. Like, it's kind of weird that you would say it that way, but they didn't really want to make anybody look bad, I guess, was kind of that. I think Total Biscuit would say it's not my job to call a player out for making a mistake. I noticed that the media does that. You guys do that with politicians. The happiest moment. So did you watch all the debates or most of them?
Yeah, I watched every single debate.
All the way through. Good. Okay, then you'll know this. My favorite moment in all of the debates that happened, I watched most of them. In all of the debates that happened, I believe this was a Republican debate when they were down to like I want to say three to six people. I don't remember. It was getting to be one of the laters. But Chris Wallace, I think, asked Trump, how are you going to shore up the shortfalls in Medicare or some shit? And Trump's answer was something like, I'm going to eliminate the EPA, and that's how I'm going to blah, 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 right? And these budget shortfalls were like on the scale of like, do you remember this?
I don't remember this exact moment, but I know what the budget for the U.S. government looks like.
So basically, I think the shortfalls for Medicare, old people's Medicare, right? Yeah. So the shortfalls are somewhere, it's one of those two. I always mix these up. Fuck. But it's somewhere in the level of like hundreds of billions of dollars, okay? And the annual budget for the EPA is like $8 billion. So Trump's answer was fucking stupid. Like every answer he's given, right? But, so this is where 99% of the time the media go, okay, well, I understand that. And then they move on. But then Chris Wallace brought up a picture of the budget of the EPA. And so it was like this, it only happened. This is the only time this ever happened. But Trump actually got called out on a completely factual lie. He's completely being incorrect, and he got called out, and there was a graph right there, and I got to sit and watch him squirm around like the little uneducated fucking worm that he is to try to rationalize the stupid shit that he just said. And it was so good to watch it. It was so satisfying. But it seems like nobody in the media is ever interested in like saying like, hey, you are wrong about this. Like unequivocally saying, not like, well, that's an interesting or like, well, I could see, but instead of just being like, you're wrong about this. Can you reconcile this fact with your misinformation? People are starting to do it more now with Trump, especially when he was lying about his electoral college victory. But like, yeah, I would love to see that kind of calling out way more by the media. It would feel so much better.
Yeah. I mean, first to start, Chris Wallace in the debates was a fucking legend. In that instance, and also in the actual general election debate that he moderated.
Sure.
Very good job. But to address your actual point, to some degree, there's this tendency to, I mean, and moving back to the esports portion, there's this tendency to assume that the people in power or, you know, the people playing the game know what they're doing. It's not always supported. And you know, clearly in many situations, it's flat out wrong. Now, to address the actual point about, you know, real-time fact-checking or calling people out, this goes back to some degree, and I want to be very clear, to some degree, because there are other factors, but this goes back a lot to access. So even in the debates, which is something that you have to consider, the candidates don't have to show up to the debate. The RNC doesn't have to give you the debate, or the DNC doesn't have to give you the debate.
And that's a fucked up problem. This is the problem we have in games journalism, right? I want an early copy of a game because I have a game media company. I can't give that game a bad review because if I give you a bad review, you're not going to send me an advanced copy anymore, and I'm going to go fucking out of business. That's horrible. Fuck. But I imagine it's the same thing. Because look at didn't Megyn Kelly? Aren't some people arguing that everything that's happened with her in regards to Trump might have pointed to her leaving? Do you think that?
Could you expand a little bit? You mean like with the...
Well, because Megyn Kelly got into fights with Trump a lot, and it was like a big thing where there were a lot of really vitriolic comments in the Republican Party and the Republican masses about Megyn Kelly being a traitor to the party and being unnecessarily unfair to Trump and whatnot, and Trump was parroting that opinion a lot. And I mean, I don't know, it seems like it led to a lot of rift between people talking about Megyn Kelly and whatnot, and now she's finally up and left Fox News. Do you think any of that kind of contributed to it, or do you think they're completely disconnected, or...
No, it fully contributed, and I mean, this is something that gets forgotten a lot, or is maybe just not known by the general populace. But this happens every time there's a new president. The networks flush out unfriendly anchors because, again, they want that access. They want to get the first interview that, you know, the president, not the president-elect, does. So, I mean, this is very common, and the other thing that you have to understand, especially about the cable networks, is that they are fueled almost entirely by the profit motive.
Yeah.
Like if you go on their news sites, they most clicks in most situations. Like if there's a big, great breaking news item, like we bombed Syria, that's going to go up top no matter what. I mean, it's probably going to be performing the best as well, but you know, that it's not really important.
Those moments in media are my favorite when you because these are the moments that are most important to us. When Ted Koppel was talking to Sean Hannity and said that his show was hurting America, like these are the brutal, hard-hitting moments. Or when Jon Stewart went on to Crossfire. Do you watch a lot of Jon Stewart stuff?
Jon Stewart, I watched The Daily Show when I was younger. I don't really watch any of his stuff anymore.
Just as an off thing, did you ever watch his interview with Kramer?
I honestly wouldn't be able to say.
Okay, never mind. But like when are you familiar with when Jon Stewart went into Crossfire and kind of dressed it down?
Crossfire is what? Is that that's the Fox show, right?
It was an older Fox show. Oh shit, you should watch this sometime if you have the ability to. But just people being very frank and blunt and speaking, you know, honesty. Like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like those are really, really important things. And when I see it happen, it's very, very refreshing to see it. But it seems like in media today, it's not what you get. Whenever I still get a little boner, a little chubber when I see Mark Shep on Fox News go off. Because it happens. It's been happening a few times where, you know, when Trump was trying to downplay the Russian thing, Mark Shep was not having any of that. He was very firmly stating that it is a problem and it needs to be looked into. And there was something somewhat recently where he had another one of those talks where he was very disappointed. It might have been with the president lying about his electoral victory, and lying in general.
No,
like,
it was either that or the crowd size. I don't remember which one.
So it was one. Yeah, I think so. It was one of those two things. But like watching people get up and speak truth to power or whatever. That profit motive is just really shit. Like I don't know.
No, yeah, and I mean, fortunately, and I feel like I do have to talk to you about this now that I just remembered, but I remember you saying this sort of a resurrection of journalism.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
In regards to essentially the Washington Post and the New York Times getting a bunch of subscriptions.
I kept saying Mark Shep. I'm sorry, it's Shepard Smith.
Yeah, yep.
Go ahead.
Don't worry, I got what you're talking about. But yeah, is not the case because the health of the journalism industry isn't really dictated by how much or how many subscribers the New York Times or the Washington Post gets. The health of the journalism industry is dictated by how many reporters town has, how many papers have state house reporters over in the Capitol. It's stuff like this because, and I mean, I've seen pundits throw this out as well, but essentially there is no greater time to be a corrupt politician than now, simply because we don't have the resources to countermand it. The journalism industry has lost more workers than the coal industry has over the same period of time. I think it's like 5 or 10 years or something like that.
Sure.
Literally, more than half of the journalism jobs in legacy media have gone away. Newspaper publishing specifically.
Sure.
Yeah. And I mean, that's just a point to note. It obviously is great that these papers are doing better than their profits last year.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
I agree.
Hey, are you an...
Yeah, okay. All right, you got anything else you want to toss at me?
No. I don't know. Maybe at some point, maybe in the future, a conversation on whether democracy is even valid. Because the fact of the matter is, no matter how good of a job that you do, or no matter how good of a job you do, there are going to be a large number of people that will always just listen to what Alex Jones says instead of whatever is being reported by fake news like AP or Reuters.
Oh yeah. Oh, actually, wait. One more quick thing.
Mm-hmm.
So what? You believe in markets? You've said, I believe.
Yeah, I do.
All right. To what extent are you like a full-on libertarian? Like you got a hard-on for?
Oh no, I believe in the power of the market. I think that it's a real thing and it is an undeniable thing. It can provide you with solutions, and in the right circumstances, it can give you great problems. But I believe in the power and the efficacy of the market, if that makes sense.
Efficient.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. You got cut off. Can you say that again?
Yeah, sure. Would you say markets are efficient then?
I would say that generally, in the right circumstances, a market can be efficient. It would depend on the particular market, but...
Why is my connection so shitty right now?
I don't know, because you're a journalist?
Yeah, I can't afford good internet, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously the U.S. economy specifically is now running into all these problems. And I mean, I say problems, but they're not really regarded as such by a large portion of society, in that there are growing oligopolies and in some cases monopolies, and there are pro-business regulations that are impeding new investment in various industries.
Yep.
Planet Money, I don't know if you listen to them, had a podcast out sometime this week, I think, for things like cosmetologists, where you need a fucking degree from a school to cut people's hair.
Sure.
So I mean,
I believe that a market. So this is what I believe. I believe that the market can deliver you good solutions more efficiently than a single entity with no competition can. I believe in market. I believe in market forces, and I believe in all the powers of the market. However, I think that market needs to be checked by regulation from the government. So if the market is telling the government what to do, I think you have a massive market failure there. I think that that's not good. I think that probably if I could change one thing about politics in the United States, if I had to pick the single largest issue facing the United States, it was very easy to pick. It's the fact that politicians are forced to spend money to campaign. The fact that politicians can lobby and raise money from private corporations is the number one harming thing in the United States and all of politics right now. I think very easily above any other individual topic.
Now, are you aware that there's a public funding campaign option? When you do your taxes, it's on there.
Yeah,
you get like
I
a
think,
dollar.
sure. And I think that you have the ability to do public funding, but the amount of money available for that is so low, you would never be competitive in any election.
No.
No?
Yeah, that's the exact problem because they
Yeah.
haven't changed it in like 50 years. No, it's literally like a few million. I think it might be up to 100 million, but I mean, there were probably billions spent on the last election.
Sure.
Unless you got anything else, I think we're all done here.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
All
I
right,
think that's
well,
pretty
it's
much
been a
it.
pleasure.
Yeah, I enjoy the conversation. Have fun. Be careful. Stay safe.
Yep. Oh yeah, you too.
Yeah, I'll see you later, buddy.
Although I guess it's probably pretty safe in Nebraska.
Yeah, it's pretty safe. All right, have a good one, man.
Yeah, peace out.
All right, what's up, my dudes? Jesus Christ. What is this?
My existence.
Wowie.
Being an ironic meme is hard. If only there is a way I could relieve the physical endurance of floating through space. Oh wait, I could. If you're not laughing at this,
What?
My existence.
being an ironic meme is hard. If only there is a way I could relieve the physical endurance of floating through space. Oh wait, I could. If you're not laughing at this, just click off the video. Just go back to school. Just take a physics class or something, you fucking idiot. You're not smart enough. Just go read a book.
What are we
These
watching?
memes that I have been showing you are known as surreal memes, and many of you are probably looking at this with utter confusion. You cannot comprehend the complexities and surreal nature of these kind of memes. It is simply at a higher plane of understanding than you can ever hope to achieve. It's okay, you don't have to worry about it. Stick to your normal conformist memes, and us higher dimensional beings will stick to being men of science rather than men of... I am a man of science, and I listen to Death Grip. Therefore, my IQ equals infinity. I fucked a bitch!
Okay. All right, we got a public update. Are you ready? Less FPS drops. Oh, shit. The motorbike leans slightly to the left. There's a motorbike coming? Oh, shit. Through instance rendering. What does this mean? Are you not going to be able to see people very far away if this happens? What's your opinion on trans race people? That sounds stupid as fuck.
The menu. The menu, huh? What do you guys serve? Do you serve phone numbers here?
Excuse me?
I don't think that's how we do it. I don't think that's how we do it. I want to see what his game is, but he.
You can't do it to the ones who work.
I know. I know. Oh my god. You can't show that on stream. That's a girl.
A 2x aim point scope. A 2x scope. Crossbows are back. Oh, this is really neat. I'm really proud of Bill Nye. My opinion of him just went up like 1,000,000-fold. I had a very, very negative opinion of him after listening to this fucking video. It was one of the dumbest things I've ever heard Bill Nye say. I think I've heard Neil deGrasse Tyson say similarly really fucking stupid things. This is a good title for an article. Why are so many smart people such idiots about philosophy? That's a good title. Oh, that's awesome. This is really cool. I'm glad that he flipped his view on this so much. What did he say? A big meme. This is a massive meme. Are you ready? This is just a really big meme. This is actually Bill Nye, the science guy.
So, what do you remember about your parents' death?
Well, this isn't.
Car crash. I was 14.
Wait, what is this?
You
Hold
started
on.
having discipline problems. Kicked out of 3 boarding schools after that. Let's talk about that day on the beach.
Katrina, I love you so much. Will you marry me?
Was that phone waterproof?
What happened?
Is this like another Jason Bourne movie?
Katrina!
Oh, he's gonna get shot in the head.
You gave up everything after that, didn't you, Mitch?
Oh, wait, maybe not.
No, not everything.
What'd you think? You were gonna kill Mansour and wipe out his whole cell?
For starters, yeah.
I like your agenda. I know exactly what to do with you.
So what do I need to know about this guy?
He's a warrior. Best I've ever known.
Oh shit, who's it gonna be?
Some bad things happened to you. Now you want to kill those mean old terrorists. You think that qualifies you for my selection process?
My guess is if you and I go hand to hand, you can probably figure out inside of 20 seconds whether or not I have what it takes to make it through selection process. So, what do you say? Kill me.
You think you can slice a man's throat right here like this? Well, in the movies.
What is it you think we do here?
We kill people who need to be killed.
Out there, you're a ghost. You don't exist.
He's ready, Stan.
He's not ready. He will be.
Do you think this movie's gonna be sick as shit or is it gonna suck? Holy shit. American Assassin. Wait, when does this movie come out? 1 second. September 5th. Why am I getting ads for this like 12 fucking months in advance? Fuck. All right, this is a literal meme video. Good luck.
Hey Bill, Mike here. I'm a philosophy major in college right now, and I'm looking for your opinion on the subject. Some of the scientists like Stephen Hawking and Neil deGrasse Tyson have brushed it off as a meaningless topic. I'm just wondering about your thoughts on the subject.
Mike, this is a great question. I'm not sure that Neil deGrasse Tyson and Richard Dawkins, two guys I'm very well acquainted with, have declared philosophy as irrelevant and blown it off in your term. I think that they're just concerned that it doesn't always give an answer that's surprising. It doesn't always lead you someplace that is inconsistent with common sense. And it often gets back to this question: what is the nature of consciousness? Can we know that we know? Are we aware that we are aware? Are we not aware that we are aware? Is reality real or is reality not real? And we are all living on a ping pong ball that's part of a giant interplanetary ping pong game that we cannot sense it. These are interesting questions. But the idea that reality is not real or what you sense and feel is not authentic is something I'm very skeptical of. I mean, I think that your senses and the reality that you interact with light, heat, sense of touch, taste, smell, hearing, absolutely hearing, these are real things. And to make a philosophical argument that they may not be real because you can't prove, like for example, you can't prove that the sun will come up tomorrow. Not really, right? You can't prove it till it happens. But I'm pretty confident it'll happen. It's part of my reality. The sun will come up tomorrow. And so philosophy is important for a while, but it's also, I get where Neil and Richard might be coming from, I call him Richard, might be coming from, where you start arguing in a circle where I think, therefore I am. Well, what if you don't think about it? Do you not exist anymore? You probably still exist, even if you're not thinking about existence. And so, this gets into the old thing. If you drop a hammer on your foot, is it real or is it just your imagination? You can run that test, a couple times, and I hope you come to agree that it's probably real. It's a cool question. It's important, I think, for a lot of people to be aware of philosophy, but just keep in mind, if you're spending all this money on college, and this also may be where Neil and Richard are coming from, philosophy degree may not lead you on a career path. It might.
I know we're all laughing and whatnot, but can you give the counter arguments? There is no counter argument. He has strawman philosophy into being like some really hypothetical thing. Like, if this reads as somebody who's like, what is philosophy? Oh, philosophy, that's just a bunch of people wondering about if we even really exist. Like, well, no, philosophy involves a lot of different things. Our entire legal system is built on the philosophy of law. Whether or not we should execute somebody for committing a capital offense will be informed by philosophy, right? Whether or not somebody deserves, an education, that comes down to your philosophy. Whether or not we should treat people equally or endorse racism, these are all topics that are informed heavily by philosophy. The fact that he's talking about these really weird questions, like, do we live on a ping pong ball, is not this is not what philosophy talks about. Like, it's a really stupid caricature of what he thinks philosophers debate or argue him.
But it may not. And just keep in mind, humans made up philosophy too. Humans discovered or invented the process of science. Humans invented language. Humans invented philosophy. So keep that in mind, that when you go to seek an absolute truth, you're a human seeking the truth. So there's going to be limits. But there's also going to be things beyond which it doesn't matter. Drop the hammer on your foot and see if you don't notice it.
What? Yeah, I don't know. Donagath says it's a 10 out of 10 meme. Is it? What do you think, guys?
Do you have cheese fries?
Oh, we've already seen this. It's a 9 out of 10, not a 10 out of 10, but we've already watched this. But we'll watch it again, because it's pretty good.
Do you have cheese fries? Yeah, okay, cool.
Destiny, would you be able to argue in a better way the point that Bill Nye was trying to make? No, because Bill Nye wasn't talking about philosophy. He was talking about like pop philosophy that you would read out of a Cosmo magazine. I don't think he had any legitimate arguments because he had no idea what he was talking about at all. It would kind of be like this would be similar, okay? Destiny, what do you think about chemistry, right? And I would go, well, chemistry is really dumb. You don't need to study chemistry. Everything is answered by common sense. You know, for instance, I know that if I put water into a fridge, it will freeze. I don't need to study the bonds of atoms or any weird shit like that to know more about water freezing or turning into steam, right? And most of the questions that chemists ask are dumb anyway. We know that alchemy isn't real. We're never going to turn humans into gold, all right? Full Metal Alchemist will never be a reality. So don't waste your time studying chemistry. Study something better. Right? But this is stupid as fuck, right? Because chemistry, like, it's just a dumb fucking thing, right? It's like, how could you even say, like, okay, well, how can you contradict that argument? Well, like, can you make a good argument against going to school and studying philosophy? Well, I don't know. If philosophy is what you want to go to school and study, if you've got the financial means to do so, then I don't know. What would be the argument against it? I don't know why you would make arguments against studying any particular topic. Go into your fridge, fill an ice tray up with ice cubes 10 out of 10 times, and see if it doesn't freeze. I just got here. Does Destiny seriously hate chemistry? I will debate his ass right now on why it's important to know chemistry. Should I debate it? Oh, shit.
Keemstar is trying to defend those child abuse pranks and looking to debate people on Reddit. Debate him. That'd be a tasty meme.
Wow. I just mean he's both trying to defend the argument that Richard Dawkins and Neil deGrasse were making and also nudge someone away from philosophy. Could you see where someone is coming from to steer someone away from philosophy in school? No, why would you ever steer somebody away from a topic in school? I don't understand why you would do that. Like this very strange obsession with finances. I don't agree with that at all. And not only do I disagree with it, I think that it should be shunned. I think that this idea, this obsession with only going to college to make money, I think is a very, very detrimental look. Like there's a lot of art related degrees that are integral to society, and there's a lot of joy and shit that we get. It's very funny that it's very entertaining to me that on one hand, all of us will sit here and jerk off the importance of college and getting jobs that make money and being an engineer is like for our whole lives. And then what do? We go home and everything we consume is given to us to some extent by art majors, right? We only watch TV, that's written by writers who probably don't have engineering degrees, that's shot by filmmakers and directors that probably don't have, law degrees. The actors and actresses probably went to a school for learning how to act. The video games that we play, a lot of these are drawn by artists. This hyper obsession that everything has to be an engineering degree is I disagree with that. There's a lot of value that we get from people that study history and writing and language and social sciences and everything like. It's not uncommon around people who have studied physics. Similar topics suggest that certain critical thinking skills could be better developed in fields that have more testable results. Maybe. I don't know. I guess that would be a whole other topic. Destiny, pick one.
Madrid fan who would disagree with that. Lifted in for Thomas Muller off the chest for Lewandowski. It is broken up by Nacho Madrid. It's in for an own goal. Wow. This is going to take maybe 2 or 3 replays to figure out what exactly happened. A goal like this would occur. Well, it's Thomas Muller. He's trying to chest it down to right on the field. You wouldn't think a goal like this would occur. Well, it's Thomas Muller. He's trying.
Oh my god, dude. Soccer is so fucking boring. Fucking kill me.
If only it could go face.
Say hello to my little friend.
Alright.
Why was this length? This wasn't a particularly good clip. I don't care about its theme song. Why do you keep linking this?
Save the world, save the world.
Okay. You should have killed me. You should have. You should have done it, man.
Coming up. There's just nothing coming together. Right here, chef. Thank you
Wait.
very much. Not a problem, chef. Oh, fuck off, you fat, useless sack of fucking Yankee stanky doodle shite. Fuck off, will you please, yeah?
Out.
Dumpster, dude.
On the top of the goatee saber, there is a place that will allow you to line the product up with the center of your nose. That way you know that the goatee saber is straight on your face. Once you have the goatee saber placed on your face and you begin to shave, it is very important not to move the goatee saber until you're finished shaving. After I get through shaving with the goatee saber, I'll remove it and then take the straight edge of the razor and use it to shave right underneath my nose.
Wait, do people do that? Are you supposed to do that? Are you supposed to shave under your nose? Why would you do that? I'll try it tomorrow, okay? We'll see how it looks.
Hello everyone. So today
30-minute video, that's a ban.
This is the RAM ProMaster. It's been designed and built to let you work more.
Yo, this is Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist. Just came out today. I've been playing it a bit. It's pretty goddamn fucking fantastic, especially if you're a fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! And the best Yu-Gi-Oh!, the early gen Yu-Gi-Oh!, because you can actually do the whole story that the show followed. Again. So I actually just finished fucking Duelist Island or Duelist Kingdom, whatever the fuck it was. I beat Pegasus. So now I'm in the Battle City, and I'm gonna beat the shit out of this fucker right here. It's always better to go second, because you can't attack on your first turn. Alright, fucking, that's great. What?! Are you fucking kidding me?!
Hey, look, that license plate's from Alabama. Wow, that's so far from here. I wonder what they're doing here. Is there some kind of event going on? That is, in fact, not the state that we live in.
This was not the first time these two had had this conversation, nor would it be the last, constantly astonished by utter inanity within the mundanest fuck zone.
Alright. Alright, I need half of you to leave now, so what better way to do that than by opening the fated League of Legends. Josh and Arne are gone. Call Diana. I already messaged her.
Anyway, okay, so do a confession. Alright, it's a little bit loud. Alright. Loud.
Wait, what is this? What? Oh no. Oh no.
What you got over here, homie?
Yo, shit.
What you got over here, homie?
Yo, dude. What's up, bro? Yo, come back here, dude.
My
Yo,
fucking stream now.
yo, come here, dude.
Yo, what's up? Yo, my fucking stream.
Yo, dude, you are short as fuck. You are. Let me get that camera. Hold on. You are short as
What's
fuck,
up,
dude.
you fucking pussy?
No, don't bring my camera, dude.
No, I'm not gonna bring it. What's up, dog?
Bro, what the fuck, dude? You are short as.
Okay, are we done with YouTube links?
No! There goes the series! No! That's such a big mistake! No, man! I'm bad upset! Daniels! Why'd you throw it away, Daniels? Did you see that?
I didn't. What happened?
Daniels had a second left and he didn't even throw it in?
What was it? A football game?
It was such a bad play by Daniels. That's so sad for my team and me. I'm such a big supporter. Oh no! Now we're gonna have to wait another 2 whole games before they come back to the championship series playoffs. Nichols is on the sideline. He must be injured. Why didn't you make that play? Score for once.
Score what? A touchdown?
Score more points to win the game. Benjels is over there making the worst calls.
Benjels?
He should know better.
Just tell me the team names of the sport. I'm just trying to figure out. I don't know what.
It's the second.
Football, baseball.
Come on, Benjels. Get loose.
What does Benjels mean?
Benjels is one of the players. He's one of the coaches in the division. If he passes through the series, then he'll be a Hall of Famer, okay? Is that hard to understand? Please just read the stats. They have 3 rounds. We made the second. We're gonna be on the first. And if they pass it, that will be college level. Get it through your school. Come on, Andersons. Oh, we both love the game so much.
I don't know what game you're talking about. What is
I'm talking about all the athletic sports that we love, but our teams always blow it. Man.
What the fuck am I even watching?
Alexa, ask Pizza Hut to place an order.
Okay.
Did you just...
What would you like to order?
Who cares? He's still grilling it. It's fine.
We're here live at the Showbiz Expo. It's in the theater. Could be me someday.
Did you guys see the new? Look, I actually enjoy watching my YouTube videos now. Did you see this?
I fuck a Nazi. I fuck a Nazi, and I didn't know she was a Nazi. When I find out, it's like, well, shit. Okay. Okay, I want to incest your wife. If you haven't been listening very well, you just have to fucking go back and listen.
Is this guy stroking the salami?
I thought I mentioned this a few times. Some people don't listen. 15 pairs of siblings who participated in it without any provocation.
Okay, well, I think 115 are for it.
Make him answer the picture's gift.
115 out of how many?
Out of 130.
When you generalize that, but math here.
Oh, shit, dude. How is this so difficult for this guy?
See, I would say anywhere between. Your statistics would then be. So now we're going to blow this up to a national scale of numbers. $40 to 50 million pairs, or 100 million people out of 17 million. Well, where'd you get 130 from, first off?
Oh, I was just kind of guessing a number.
Exactly, just like I was.
Do you know, like, what the percentage of that is or whatever? What? How to get from 115 out of 130? How to get that to into a percentage? Oh, dude, this is too much for me. Who was this guy? You missed out on this conversation? I'm trying to remember. Like, because you would look at this as like out of 100%.
That would be 88%.
He got it.
Why would 88% of people say, hey, let's just fuck?
I don't know. It's just casual sex, right?
Oh! Now, 88%. Actually, that leaves, let me see. About 130. 88% of a very, very, very small group.
What does that
who
even...
have never been molested by a parent, who have never been raped by a parent, or a sibling, let's go there, or an uncle, cousin, whatever, and we're okay.
Fuck me. Alright, I'm gonna hot chocolate. I'm gonna play some of... Oh, I thought I got banned. Some of the... In the wonderful world... The wonderful world of League of Legends. Yes or no, trans race or general... No, I think trans race is stupid. I don't know. It seems like a big meme to me, dude. Are there actually people that believe in, like, trans race or whatever? They could be a transracial person? Is this a real thing? I'll be right back. 1 sec. my dudes.
What do I do?
What this is? Oh my god, what the fuck is this fucking thing? Hey,
God fucking damn it.
End of the line.
How do you add people in fucking Discord? Fuck. Or how do you message someone? I just want to send a message to somebody on Discord. How do I do it?
No cure for fools. Happy to sit
Okay, I'm gonna debate somebody on chemistry, okay, and about how chemistry is worthless. I'll be back in a sec.
Playtime's over. Is that fear I smell?
You don't have the heart.
Oh, I just said some really cool shit and you missed out on all of it. You guys would have loved what I said, but I'm not gonna repeat it now because that's beneath me. My dudes.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. "30 seconds until minions spawn."
Try out this music. Wow, X Phoenix, Asha X.
Been searching all along.
What do you do to stay organized? I'm not a very organized person. I don't know what else we do. Why would Obama be considered an African American president? What does he need when African American president when he's even full African? Sorry, I'm trying to speak fast. Because we don't call black people in the United States. We call them all African American. Nice meme.
I'm here around from this where I found an empty glass. Tell me what the truth told. I need them mask. I'm a shepherd at this masquerade. I'm in both face and mind. I'm free for you to go. I'm a shepherd, chained down to my core. Please don't take off my mask. Has been
I miss you, Momo.
Oh, rip. Is that alright to bear arms donating? Oh my god. Watch for the Q.
have to see me. Just occasional thorns. There's nothing inside. Will it always be burning down the walls? Is there a way for me to
I don't know what the daddy. I don't know anything about that Daddy of 5 YouTube channel. I'm sorry. I really don't know anything about
I
it.
forgot I have the resub Monkos.
I'm in both face and mind. I'm free for you to draw. I'm a shapeshifter. Have no face to show. Don't take off my
I don't really miss you, Momo.
Oh no. careful, don't get hit over the wall, my dude. Does he have TP? Yeah, he does. Fuck, I don't think I should have used that smite, because I have the raptors coming up. Or maybe we can go kill Frogman. And
Wowie.
Then, or Toadman, whatever the fuck this thing is. Wowie.
Hey Daddy, it's
Hey.
our 2-year anniversary.
Wow.
Keep up the dank memes, my friend. Carrot bonus meme. Yee.
Thanks. Thanks, buddy. 2 years, I appreciate it. Battlegrounds memes tonight? I don't think so, because RNA and Steel are gone. Rip. Unless Ice wants to play, maybe? I don't know.
Welcome to the Tier 1 Resubber Clubber.
Tier 1 resubber clever. Whoa, buddy. Nay! Oh my god, no way, dude. No, what is my hitbox? Are you serious? How did she just do that much damage to me? Okay, well that was a
Amazon Prime resub meme. Tipo think.
People think. Am I supposed to finish my jungle item on him first, or do I do the... I think I do straight Trinity Force, right? I wonder if I should have just went after the tower. Maybe I could have killed Yi. I don't know. Jungle item is pretty solid. I think it's Trinity first, right? Go Phage first? For more HP? Do you think I should have? me, dude. Stupid. She was taking tower shots? Her Q is a dash? Oh, so what? Should she just hit me at the end of the Q? Oh no. Damn, dead. Wow, dude, we can't do anything? What a sad game. You're not playing Kha'Zix anymore? No, Kha'Zix is good. I like playing Hecarim because I can just farm forever on Hecarim and then be strong. But for some reason I stopped farming and I keep thinking I need to gank and shit when I should just be AFK farming the entire game. That's what I should be doing. But then I feel bad because my laners start to get fucked and I feel like it's kind of my fault. But I guess Yi hasn't really been ganking that much. He's been in like team fights and shit, but it's not like Yi is the reason why these guys are getting fucking raped. My top and bot got annihilated. This game is pretty over. I'll go top eyes after my jungle item. You don't think I should get him right now? Okay. That's probably Fizz, huh? Oh no, it's trying to lock him. only took 3 of us.
Your turret has been destroyed.
Nice man. Can you read Caitlyn's name? Baby Kaiju? I don't know. How? Oh my god! Oh, good job. I don't feel like we can do that. Dead too. Oh, he hit an ult. Nice. Are they all AD? No, Lux isn't. It's a lot of fucking AD though. Autism, dude.
You have been slain.
Master kill yourself, yeah, pretty much. Nice! Oh, wow, nice. Delayed surrender. Fuck, for a horrible game. Why is song broken? Oh, because I don't have my shit installed. My scrobbler thing.
Danica Patrick, yes. Round of applause for a history maker. Danica Patrick is here. Welcome, my love. Yes. Danica, I hope you're not too uncomfortable tonight. I know you're not used to being this close to the front. It's a comedy show. Jeez Louise. Danica, of course, became the first woman to win the pole at Daytona. In one move, Danica Patrick silenced all of the haters, and we at NASCAR and the fans respect that. Round of applause for Danica Patrick, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very lucky to have you here. Somebody put a smile on that face. Danica is here with her boyfriend, NASCAR Sunoco Rookie of the Year, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. You don't really have to applaud for him. Danica's the star, we know that. Danica wrecked Ricky this year at New Hampshire. That's a wacky relationship when you wreck your boyfriend in a race. In New Hampshire, she wrecked Ricky. Ricky, let me give you a little advice, just guy to guy. Next time your girlfriend asks you, does this fire suit make me look fat? Just say no, brother. I admire Danica and Ricky very much. Go on.
What?
I want to
no.
take a time out and give a very special thanks to the director of the show for getting cutaway shots of people not laughing. I'm looking at 2,000 people laughing their eyes at it. We just have Danica going, no, that wasn't funny at all.
Laughing their
I
eyes
admire
out?
Danica and Ricky for making the relationship work. Ricky knows what we all know. Sometimes the guy just has to step aside and let the woman lead. Just ask Kevin Harvick.
I of course have to thank the fans. That's why I have this award. I have amazing fans. I'm so fortunate, and I think it's pretty safe to say Jay Moore is not one of them.
I'm a comedian from New York, and I've done a lot of Friars Club roasts, and there's a great saying with the Friars Club: you only roast the ones you love. So all the drivers that got tagged tonight by the monologue, you gotta know what a huge NASCAR fan I am, and I love all of you. Specifically, according to my Twitter feed backstage, I am getting destroyed because of the one Danica Patrick joke, and I wanna set the record straight right now. Danica Patrick, what you have done for the sport of NASCAR and what you've done for women's athletics, I could not be more of a Danica Patrick fan. I love Danica Patrick. When I saw her do that interview and say I have a lot of fans except for Jay Moore, I was like, no, I need to.
That didn't seem that bad, but okay. Which of these movies have you heard of? American Assassin, The Hitman's Bodyguard, Atomic Blonde, Renegade. Oh, I've heard of this one. Can you do multiple ones? Oh, I've heard of this one. We watched an ad for that one.
The poorest half of the world's population own about as much as the 85 richest people in the world, including you, of course. Does that make you feel uncomfortable?
Well, what makes me uncomfortable is that children die, that people don't get a good education, they don't get enough nutrition, and that's what I've devoted my life to working on. And so all of that money that's in my hands is actually going against those problems.
But you don't deny the gap between rich and poor seems to have got worse.
No, the gap between rich and poor has not gotten worse, thank goodness. Less children are dying, people are living longer, people are more literate. If you go back far enough, everybody was poor. And so if you just want everybody to be the same, 200 years ago, 300 years ago, when life was very short, a third of all children died before the age of 5. That was an age of strong equality.
Do you think that enough is being spent on international aid?
Real quickly, to talk to what Bill Gates just said, this is one of the reasons why I don't necessarily like talking about just income inequality. Income inequality in a vacuum doesn't really mean anything. Like, income inequality isn't, like, you can't assign a moral weight to that. It's not a good thing or a bad thing that the rich can be so much richer than the poor. Because if the poor people have access to good healthcare, high quality education, luxury goods, and other forms of entertainment, who the fuck cares if there's a big gap, right? If every poor person has a great standard of living, a great quality of life, and access to emergency services and institutions, like, who cares if there's a big gap, right? I think Bill Gates was kind of speaking to that right there. And I think that's a defensible position, that income inequality gets focused on a little bit too hard. Now, oftentimes, income inequality occurs at the expense of the working class, which is a negative, but I don't think that it's necessarily the income inequality that causes that. It's just the ways that income inequality arises, if that makes sense.
Do you think that enough is being spent on international aid?
I'd like to see that increased, particularly the programs where you're buying malaria bed nets and you're preventing deaths there, you're buying vitamin A, you're buying AIDS drugs, you're inventing new seeds that are more productive, getting those out, educating farmers how to use those things. We've seen phenomenal benefits in the aid programs that we're partnered in.
You're a notable philanthropist, of course, but much of this aid is government aid. Why is it the business of taxpayers in the United States or in Britain or anywhere else in Europe or anywhere else in the world to spend money on poorer people in poorer countries?
Well, you have to decide, do the lives, say, in Africa have any value or not? Do we, as we see them starving, not having enough nutrition, not having access to vaccines, having disease there that more money is spent on solving baldness than spent on a disease that kills 1 million children. Does that bother us or not? Are we willing to take, in the case of the UK, less than 2% of all government spending and have it go towards the very poorest, which in fact is very generous?
You could completely alter the picture of the world if you went for a genuine redistributive mechanism in taxation.
You mean like North Korea?
No, I don't mean like North Korea. I mean by democratic consent.
Well, yeah,
you could do that.
You could adopt. Yeah, we have many democracies. They all have different taxation policies. The Nordic countries have certain taxation policies. The UK has different ones. I'm not an expert on any but the US.
Would you favour in the US a higher rate of personal taxation?
Yes.
To what level?
That's fairly complicated to pick an exact level, but I've been a big proponent of the estate tax, and I do believe that income on capital, we could tax that a bit higher.
And when you saw the results of the Senate investigation into Microsoft's tax affairs, and the allegation that about $4 million worth of taxes a day wasn't being paid because of the way that Microsoft managed their affairs, what did you think?
I think that's about as incorrect a characterization of anything I've ever heard.
It was the allegation that was made?
No, it's just simply hogwash.
Okay, which aspect is hogwash?
The idea that Microsoft didn't pay its taxes.
It's not that Microsoft didn't pay taxes, it's that they could have paid more taxes.
Voluntarily?
Yes, but
this is a very foolish argument that people on the left sometimes make. This idea that, so for instance, I'll shit on Trump for a lot of things, and you've heard me shit on Trump for a lot of things, but I'll never shit on Trump for tax evasion, okay? If you don't like tax evasion, then your job is to get Congress to update the tax laws. If it's possible that you can carry forward a loss like Trump did using some loophole or something and not pay taxes, that's your job. It's what you're supposed to do as a fucking businessman. Like, you're supposed to avoid tax avoidance is a huge strategy in a lot of business people and even individuals. I own a company for tax avoidance. Like, this is your job is to do this. Like, so like what Bill Gates kind of said tongue in cheek, like, what, you want me to voluntarily pay more taxes? Of course we wouldn't expect most people to do that. It's a foolish argument.
Voluntarily?
Yes, by choosing to organize their affairs differently rather than running them through Puerto Rico.
So stupid.
Yeah, your numbers are just completely wrong. So,
all right, let me put it another way. As a statement of principle, are you in favor of people paying as much tax as possible?
No. What does that even mean?
I think that if your government should pass the tax laws that they need in order to collect the revenue they want to collect.
Yes.
I don't think saying that people should volunteer
I'm sorry. Did I say tax evasion? So tax evasion wouldn't be the correct term. Your goal is never tax evasion. I think tax evasion is illegal. It's tax avoidance is what you do, right? You optimize your tax avoidance strategy to avoid as many taxes as possible, not evade. I think evade implies illegality. I think. I'm not entirely sure.
To pay taxes is likely to raise that much. It can be tried, but you know the rules are set. I paid more taxes than any individual ever, and gladly so. I should pay more, but I paid over $6 billion in taxes.
How do you persuade people that it's their political or moral duty to pay more tax in order that there can be some sort of redistribution?
You make sure that they follow the law and pay their taxes. If they don't, you put them in jail. It seems to work.
Bill Gates, thank you very much.
On Fortress Europa, Chinese red.
I think Bill Gates is exactly right. RTBA, what are you still doing awake? Or have you already woken up? Wait, RTBA, what the fuck? What are you doing awake, dude? I'm gonna tell your mom. This guy stayed in lane? Dude, you think that's a little greedy? Like just a tiny insy bitsy greedy? Ah, fuck. That was heal and flash from them. How much did anybody see the HP that he had after that auto? That's pretty disappointing. Oh, cool. It's the brand who's attacked, so I can't really die. He's still here? Oh, he's a three pot longsword, isn't he? Yeah. How am I still level 1? No. Come on, red buff. Are you fucking kidding me? So lucky, dude. Oh. Okay. These guys are so greedy, it's ridiculous. Holy fuck, it feels so bad to see them play so greedy and get away with it. Fuck. I'm gonna die. Outskilled once again. Feels good, man. Fuck! I thought he was gonna throw another spell. Whatever, dude. I don't know why I ran up. Oh my god, it was so stupid. So low in life. These guys are so crazy fucking aggressive, dude. Fuck me. I thought they were gonna start running away as soon as the Lee Sin came down, and I'd be too far back. I just need to play passive as fuck. I think these guys will make mistakes. These guys are crazy. It's my favorite Taco Bell sauce? I don't know, I think the Diablo sauce is pretty good. The Diablo sauce and then their hot sauce I think are both really good. I think the hot sauce probably has the best flavor. What the fuck?
Your team has destroyed.
Will I pull an execute from this?
You have been slain. An ally has been slain.
Damn, 7-0 Lee Sin, what the fuck? Where the fuck did this guy come from? Oh no. It's cancer, dude. Oh my god. Do you think he four-shots me, the Jin? With the Ghost of the Ruined Blade or whatever? He killed him? I don't know. Fuck. Am I supposed to run back? No. That was sick as fuck. Oh, because he still had ult. That was my bad. He could have ulted me. Maybe we could have killed him. How did he kill that Jin? I wonder if he was low.
And people like you are the virus, and I am the fucking cure. Make no fucking mistake, sir. The cafe at Eli serves law and order for breakfast, lunch, and fucking dinner, Mr. Barksdale. I'll never get tired. I will not be dissuaded, bribed, or coerced. I'll never stop, I'll never quit, and I'll always get you. It's a matter of time, sir, not an if but a fucking when. You get me?
I understand, sir.
Fan-fucking-tastic. Now I'm gonna shave some of this time off because I think some of this is too, let's just say, technical spin. You fuck around like this again, Mr. Barkdale, and I swear to God, I will flatten you like a fucking bug. You will spend over 100 fucking months up in that jail every goddamn minute you earn. Whatever it takes to crack that rock-hard, stubborn-ass head of yours. You get me? You and people like you are the virus, and I am the fucking cure. Make no fucking mistake, sir. The cafe at Eli...
How? Thank you. Why the fuck did you kick me down here? Oh no. On a scale from 1 to beta. If I had mana for all, dude. Does that give me mana? It doesn't, does it? No. Oh god, dude. Ah, fuck, dude. I thought he would die. He gets like a shield when he teleports too, right? For like a retard free harass, so that you can, every time you go forward, you know you're always safe at the same time, so you don't have to put too much thought into it. Fuck Cassidon, dude.
Destroyed a turret. Shut down.
It only blocks magic damage? Oh, really? Oh, maybe I guess I always feel like it blocks everything because I'm always playing mid when I'm seeing Cassidon zipping around like that in front of me, I guess. I should probably be done.
And basically, that was a fucking red card. She had to go. You get what I'm saying? That was it. It was game over. So we did some fucking sneak tactics and.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a huge celebration welcome to Ray Park. Ah.